G'day everyone, welcome to another exciting edition of DURKO's Notebook for the 2023 US Grand Prix. There was a lot of stars and stripes on the weekend, a lot of so-called celebrities that nobody's ever heard of, and a lot of stripes being the overtaking limits on the edge of the circuits as we saw the race go on. Anyway, got a lot to talk about, so pull up a pew, sit back, relax and enjoy the show. You wouldn't fucking read about it. So the F1 circus has been going to COTA, or the Circuit of the Americas, now for a few years, and Herman Tilke, of course, had a bit of a hand in the design of it, but not the whole thing, as he's done so many other circuits on the calendar. 20 turns and at 5.5 kilometres long, it's just one awesome venue. I love the place. I recommend anyone to go there, as I keep saying. And the layout is great, and from wherever you stand on the circuit, you can just see so much of the action. Now, we're introduced to at least the sprint race format at the USGP for the first time, and I think it was a colossal failure. As Sky Simpson pointed out in a comment, it's sort of a place where you have to be big on strategy and especially tyre management, and the sprint race format just didn't work. I think it was a load of rubbish. I thought it was great at Qatar, but this weekend I didn't think it was so good, and I don't think it worked. So I think they've got to just scrap it and take it to other circuits where the format is going to work. Like it works at Brazil, works at Austria because it's so short, but I think at COTA it just doesn't work, so they've got to just bin it for next year or forever and not do it at COTA. It's just a waste of time. There was one thing I wanted to say about the sprint race, of course, was Max at the start and how he effectively pushed Charles Leclerc right off the edge of the circuit. Across the pit lane exit and just straight towards the grassed area as they come up the hill towards turn one, the 40-metre climb up to turn one. And I don't know whether there was no penalty. I suppose they thought, sprint race, first lap, he's just trying to gain his position as a dog would to make his mark, to say, look, I'm going here, this is my place, get out of my way. But there was no penalty, but I just thought it was a weird move that he wasn't pulled up for it or at least warned for it. The race itself, it showed exactly why this is a strategy circuit and a strategy race, especially with the tyre management. I mean, towards the end there, you really couldn't put a finger on who was going to win because there was a thought that Lando was going to get it. But, of course, Max came from 6th place to claim his 50th win of his career. And, overall, probably wasn't the most exciting race other than the strategy for positions. I was expecting a bit more of a race, but there was some, cars went out. The Aston Martin of Nando went out, and Ocon went out himself, and so did Piastri. So, there was some attrition there, but overall, I don't think it was the most exciting race. I think it could have been better, and I'd hoped for more myself. So it was weird. And, of course, the post-race incidents that occurred was the scrutineering. And I'll now call on the judge to give his views on that. This edition of the F1 Court is now sitting. The matter before us is, of course, the post-race scrutineering by Joe Bauer, the paddock policeman. He randomly picked 4 cars, being car 1, 16, 44 and number 4. He found no problem with Max's car or Lando's, but he found obviously that the timber floor panel in car 44 and car 16 had gone below the minimum depth allowed. Now, of course, that was due to the porpoising we saw come along the back straight there between turns 11 and 12. And obviously, Lewis made post-race commentary, and after free practice 1, he said that he was really pleased with the car setup because they'd come with a new floor, which was working for him. But, clearly it cost him, the penalty and the disqualification for his car being thrown out post-race scrutineering, as I said. Obviously, they had to take it on the chin, as Toto Wolff said, and they'll move on and redesign the car to make sure it's right for Mexico. Now, some people have said, why don't they do it to every car, or 20? Well, it's probably going to be a logistical nightmare to do it. And as we know, with the FIA weighbridge, when it's hauled out, it's a random process of who gets called in to get their car weighed for scrutineering by the FIA then. But, Joe Bauer, some people say, well, why'd he do it? Well, he's been to 500 races and he knows what he's doing. That's why they call him paddock policeman, as I said. And this is all about fairness in the sport, I guess you could say. And if the skid plate underneath was worn out, it's worn out. Nothing can be done. You can't argue it. The information's there, the data's there, so you can't argue with fact. So that's it, and in my presiding judgment, I agree with the decision of the FIA and Joe Bauer in this matter. Court is now closed. Yes, thank you, Your Honour. Appreciate your thoughts on that matter. So, of course, we're off to Mexico next weekend, and it's another great circuit. It's different if you go there, obviously, because of the altitude, and also you can't get around the circuit. Once you're in the baseball stadium where I was, you can't go anywhere else. So it's a bit limited. But, so Mexico next weekend, I'm looking forward to that, of course. And, there was some thought Chico was going to announce his retirement, but he says he's right for a seat for 2024. So I think it's just going to be a bit of a watch this space, really, with Chico, what he's going to do. We'll see what happens. Just a shout out to James Cook, of course, for him getting into the drivers' parade in his Camaro and taking the Aston Martin boys of Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll around on the drivers' parade. So that was a great achievement for James. He was very proud of being able to show off his car. And you wanted to show big thanks to for Lance Stroll, at least, for putting his feet all over the back of his detailed seat. So well done there, Lance. So that's it for this edition of DURKO's Notebook, and I shall see you in a week's time for the Mexico Notebook. Thanks. Until then, bye-bye.